everybody! Can you believe it's our last day already? We have learned so much. I am really excited to share today's stories with you. Are you ready to sing and move our bodies as we celebrate being together? Let's welcome Mayada.
Hey friends! Happy last day of camp! Ah! Aren't you excited? Let's sing! Where the Spirit moves, there's freedom, freedom, freedom. And she helps us build community with freedom, with freedom. 'Cause we all have a responsibility to keep each other safe and to meet our needs. So let's work together with the Spirit for freedom, for freedom. Let's work together with the Spirit for freedom. Healing, where the Spirit moves, there's healing, healing, healing. And she helps us build communities with healing, with healing. So we all have a responsibility to keep each other safe and to meet our needs. So let's work together with the Spirit for healing, for healing. Let's work together with the Spirit for healing. Justice, where the Spirit moves, there's justice, justice, justice. And she helps us build communities with justice, with justice. 'Cause we all have a responsibility to keep each other safe and to meet our needs. So let's work together with the Spirit for justice, for justice. Let's work together with the Spirit for justice. Freedom, where the Spirit moves, there's freedom, freedom, freedom. And she helps us build communities with freedom, with freedom. 'Cause we all have a responsibility to keep each other safe and to meet our needs. So let's work together with the Spirit for freedom, for freedom. Let's work together with the Spirit for healing, for healing. Let's work together with the Spirit for justice, for justice. Let's work together with the Spirit for freedom. Nice job, guys. Give yourselves a hand. Nice work.
Thanks, Mayada. I love all of our songs. This week, we talked a lot about celebrating difference, standing up for our neighbors, and fighting for liberation for all. Do you remember what liberation means? That's right, love and freedom. Today, we are going to read a story from the Bible that shows one of the ways that fighting for liberation could look like. Would you help me welcome back our friend Siobhan?
Hi, so nice to see you again. Back in the days of the Bible, there were a special people of God called the Israelites. At the time of our story, they lived as slaves to the people called the Egyptians. The Egyptians ruled over them, and the Israelites had to do whatever they wanted. The Egyptians used the power they had to treat the Israelites very badly. What's a word we learned this week that might describe how they were being treated? That's right, oppression. So, the Israelites complained to the Egyptian king, who was called a pharaoh. They used their voices to protest against what was happening to them. They told Pharaoh that they were being treated unfairly. They told him, "Our lives matter." Well, Pharaoh was not happy that these people were speaking up for themselves, because often even evil people don't like being told what they're doing is wrong. So Pharaoh treated them even more badly. But the people did not give up because they knew that they deserved liberation. They prayed to God and asked for help. And what do you think God did? Well, this week we have been learning a lot about how God sees people who are oppressed, and God loves them. And what does God do for the oppressed? That's right, God liberates them. That's exactly what God did for the Israelites people. He gave them a leader named Moses, who led them out of the land of the Egyptians and into liberation. Just like the Israelites, we can protest when the leaders of our people are mistreating us. And just like the Israelites, we can also cry out to God for when we're oppressed. Did you know that there have been a lot of protests happening in our country and city lately? Just like the Israelites, Black people in our country have been lifting up their voice to protest about their oppression. Because Black people's life have not been shown to be valued in this country, Black people have been shouting in the streets the truth that Black lives matter. Hey, you want to know something awesome? In our story, there were actually some Egyptians that saw that Israelites were being oppressed, so they joined the protest. Even though they weren't the ones being oppressed, they saw what was happening was wrong and they spoke up about it. They were helpers or allies to those who were oppressed. So, for those of us who are Black, we know that God hears the oppressed and liberates us. For those of you who are not Black, you might be people of color or white people or even a mix of those things. What do you think you should do with the protests that are happening today that are led by Black people? You can be like the Egyptians who joined the Israelites as allies. And wherever we find our place in the struggle, we can remember that just like God did for the Israelites, God responds to our protests and our cries for help. Do you want to be a person who speaks up and protests against the oppressions? We can all practice together. Let's shout together and protest that Black Lives Matter. Raise your fist up high and shout it out loud. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
Thank you for reading with us, Siobhan. Here are some questions that would be good to explore with a friend, a sibling, or a grown-up. How did the story make you feel? Can you point to a part on your body where you're feeling something? Do you think that you would be more like an Israelite or one of the Egyptians who joined the Israelites in the story? What do you think the story is asking us to do in our own lives? Thank you for being such good listeners. Now, it's time for our dance break.
I don't wanna be you, I just wanna be me. I don't wanna be cool, I just wanna be me. Be me. You don't wanna be cool, be cool. You just wanna be me. Be. I don't wanna be cool, I don't wanna be cool, I don't wanna be cool. I don't wanna be cool, I don't like being cool. I don't wanna be cool, I ain't tryna be cool. What's it like being cool? I just can't stay cool. I don't wanna be cool, I don't want you to be me. You should just be you.
Okay, when I count to 3, I want you to freeze like a popsicle. 1,
You just wanna be me.
2,
You just wanna be me. Okay.
3. Good job. Will you try a breathing practice with me? I like to do this after I have big feelings to help me feel better. Okay, the breathing practice goes like this. Breathe in while I count to 4. Hold your breath while I count to 4. And breathe out while I count to 4. See if you can send your breath all the way down to your toes. You can also do this lying down on your back if that feels better. We'll start now. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that a couple of times. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, deep breathing. For our second story, we are going to watch a video called What Happened in Our Town. It is actually about the same thing that happened in Minneapolis at the end of May, when the police officers killed George Floyd. This is hard to understand, even for grown-ups, but our two main characters, Emma and Josh, ask and answer good questions to help us know what we can do.
And welcome to our story time, brought to you by our Niagara Falls Underground Railroad Heritage Center and produced by the Atlanta School for Gifted Youngsters. You know, kids, reading is very important because through books you can learn about yourself and the world around you. Through our story time, we're going to share with you some amazing books, and I know you're going to enjoy today's story. Something Happened in Our Town, a child's story about racial injustice, by Marianne Solano, Marietta Collins, and Ann Hazard. Illustrated by Jennifer Zivian. This story is read with permission by Imagination Press. Something bad happened in our town. The news was on the TV, the radio, and the internet. The grown-ups didn't think the kids knew about it, but the kids in Miss Garcia's class heard some older kids talking about it, and they had questions. After school, Emma asked her mother, "Why did the police shoot that man?" "It was a mistake," said her mother. "I feel sorry for the man and his family." "Yes, the police thought he had a gun," said her father. "It wasn't a mistake," said her sister Liz. "The cops shot him because he was black." Emma was confused. "He is brown, not black," she said. "Some black people have dark brown skin and some have light brown skin," Emma's father explained. "Black usually means African American. Most of their ancestors were brought here from Africa as slaves." "I know what a slave is," said Emma. "That's when you have to do whatever the other person says." "Yes, slaves had to do whatever white people told them to do. Even after slavery ended, white people didn't let black people live where they wanted, go to school with white people, or vote." "Who are white people?" "White people came from places in Europe or Russia or other countries. We are white people, even though our skin is light tan." "Did our family do those bad things a long time ago?" Emma asked. "Yes," answered her mother. "Back then, many white people thought that they were better than black people, even though it wasn't true." Liz added, "Some white people still think most black men and boys are dangerous, even though they're not." "Was the man that got shot dangerous?" asked Emma. "No," her mother said. "Shooting him was a mistake. It was a mistake that is part of a pattern." "Like a pattern on my blanket?" Emma asked. "Yes, but this pattern is being nice to white people and mean to black people. It's an unfair pattern. Suppose you had a birthday party and invited everyone in your class except the black kids, her mother said. How would the black kids feel? They would be sad, Emma said, or mad. And you would be missing out because you never know who is going to be your best friend, said Liz. And you can help others to be fair, said her mother. Like telling Anna to stop teasing Ling about her name? Asked Emma. Her mother gave her a hug. Yes, just like that. In another house, Josh asked his mother, "Can police go to jail?" "Yes," said his mother. "Why do you ask?" "That white policeman who shot the black man," said Josh. "Will he go to jail?" "What he did was wrong," said his mother. "But he won't go to jail," said his father. "Why not?" asked Josh. "Cops stick up for each other," said Josh's brother Malcolm. "And they don't like black men." Josh was confused. "Why not? Some police are black." "You're right," said his mother. "Uncle James is a police officer, and so is my friend Kenya." "There are many cops, black and white, who make good choices," said his father. "But you can't count on them to always do what's right." Malcolm added, "I can get stopped by the police just because I'm black, even if I don't do anything wrong." "That's not fair," Josh said. "What if it was a white man in the car? Would the police have shot him?" "They probably wouldn't even have stopped the car," said his father. "Sometimes white people are treated better than black people," said his mother. "But it's not right. Everybody should be treated fairly." Josh's mother gave him a hug. "We're proud of who we are. Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King Jr., and Nelson Mandela were strong and brave black leaders. They showed us that we can stand up for our rights and set good examples for others. They were treated unfairly, but helped others learn to be more fair." "Some people haven't learned," said his father angrily. "Why are you mad?" asked Josh. "I'm mad that we're still treated poorly sometimes, but I can use my anger to make things better," said his father. "Black people have a lot of power if we work together to make changes." "I have power," Josh said, "and I'm smart." His father smiled. "You're right," his mother added, "and you can change people's hearts by sticking up for someone who is not treated fairly. Like Malcolm sticks up for me when the kids tease me about my glasses?" Josh asked. "He tells them to step off." "Just like that," his parents said. The next day, a new kid joined Emma and Josh's class. His name was Omad, and he was from a country far away. Omad didn't know where to sit or what to do because it was his first day in school. He talked a little bit, but it was hard to understand him. He said he was learning English. After lunch, the class went outside to play soccer. Daniel and Sophia picked kids to be on their teams. All of the kids were picked to be on a team except Omad. Daniel said Omad probably didn't know how to play because he was new. Sophia said Omad might not be good at soccer. Josh remembered what his mother said about sticking up for people who were treated unfairly. Emma remembered what her mother said about unfair patterns in birthday parties. All of a sudden, Omad wasn't alone. Emma and Josh were leading him to their team. "We have enough kids on our team," Daniel said. "We don't need him." But Josh was ready. "Step off," he said. "He's playing." "Yeah," said Emma. "We don't want to miss out." And just like that, Emma and Josh gained a new friend and started a better pattern in their school.
There was a lot in that story. Now would be a good time to grab a friend, sibling, or grown-up to talk about it. How are you feeling right now? What happened in the story? Was there a character that you saw yourself in? Why? Have you ever felt like Emma or Josh? What did Emma and Josh do at the end of the story? How do you think it made the new student feel? How can we practice the same kindness?
This actually happened in a lot of towns. It can feel hard to know what to do, but people throughout history have always used their voices to fight for justice, and you, yes, you, can do the same.
Actually, a lot of our friends and neighbors are doing the same. And there are a lot of different ways to do it.
Little changes can lead to big changes.
Can you think of some ways people around Minneapolis spoke up? There are lots of ways you can make your voice heard.
Some people painted murals, some people went to protests, some people made sure that all of the families had supplies and food to eat, and some people did other things that we haven't even listed yet.
What are some of the things you can do in your families?
We can start right now. For our last art project, we are going to make protest signs. You can take them to a protest, hang them in your window, or both. Just because this is our last day together for now, doesn't mean we stop learning to love ourselves and love each other like Jesus did. We can look for ways to lead with love and fight for the collective liberation of all people every single day.